Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Back to the Future Part 2 again. In the last episode, we managed to find out from Doc Brown that 1985 is screwed up because an old man went to Biff Tannen in 1955 and gave him a sports almanac that will allow him to change history tremendously and make him rich in the process. That old man was, of course, the older form of Biff Tannen, which means we have to go to 1955 to get that almanac back, hopefully not screw up the things that we put right in the first film, and hopefully get things straight. So let's grab a shield to begin this round, and here are some Karate Kids, the first of many, as well as a bunch of spikes. This is where the game starts going rather crazy with the spikes, because you're going to see a whole bunch of them in this round. Also, I like how the sun sets in the background there. That's a very nice touch, and I should have gotten a little more patient there because I lost my shield and I took a dumb hit after that. Now, once you drop down here, you can change all the small coins into big ones, follow the upper path, and you can also refill one of your hits, which really helps here. Not going to try to get all of them because, well, I'm going to get my money back here. And you don't necessarily have to follow this top path. If you drop down, you'll eventually end up in this little zigzag section anyway. Do not go right when you reach the zigzag section. You want to go straight up, because if you go to the right, it's nothing but a spike trap. It's a spike pit for the stuff that's below once we reach the top. And once you get high enough in this little zigzag section, you're going to have to deal with spikes. And you're going to have to watch these spikes closely to see where they're going to go, and then plan your move accordingly. So if this spike moves all the way to the right, we need to hurry on up here, and then we can finally climb up here after dealing with one last spike. Now with this platform, you want to be just right of center. Be sure not to hold the run button while you're on this platform. That way, in case you do need to fine-tune yourself, you can do it. Don't even worry about getting the coins. More than likely, you're going to hit a spike if you try to go for them. And it looks like I may hit a spike somewhere, but thankfully I do not. Time to take this spring up over here, and then jump down here and try to grab as many coins as we can. Don't go left once you make your way down. It'll just lead us back to the spike pit, I think. And now you have this part where you're going to have to gauge where you are, and then use the springs to get up these ever increasing spike pits with their ever increasing height. And I just took a really dumb hit over there. If you do get hit, try to take advantage of your invulnerability if you can. But it is easy to get through that part without getting hit if you're patient enough. And now we got some fans and some balloons. You're going to have to use your jump attack to get past the balloons, as well as make your way over to the right. You don't have much further to go now. And now we have the spring section, kind of like the one in round 3-1, but we do have to use it in order to get further ahead in the stage. And when we drop down here, oh boy, we're going to have to deal with spikes and balloons. You want to start this section off by dropping all the way down and making your way to the right, making sure you don't get hit by any of the balloons. And you want to try to wait at the very right end. Hold the run button down if you need to. And then this platform will drop down. You'll need to keep it on screen and lead it to the left. Then you want to get on top of it to take a ride on it. And you may have to jump over or use the balloon enemies here to get some momentum. And thankfully, I managed to land this first try, make it all the way to the other side, and reach the goal. Once you get past that last part of round 5-1, it's pretty easy. And here's Mr. Strickland with Biff Tannen. who takes the almanac away from him. But why? Well, we're gonna find out in round 5-2. And first we have to make our way through the sewers, it looks like. It never really explains how Marty got here, or to the school in the movie, so I'm guessing the developers are taking liberties here. Anyway, we have to deal with these spike walls that close up and down. Make sure they go up before you pass by them. That way you don't take a dumb hit. And you're going to have to deal with a linear path with very linear walls to them, very narrow paths. And you're probably going to have to deal with a bunch of karate kids on the way. Just let them come to you and then let your jump attack take care of the rest. Now we should be on our way after one last spike wall. And you drop down here, or rather here. You want to make your way to the center. Hopefully try not to hit any spikes on the way down, or any enemies. Thankfully I just managed to find where I need to go just out of pure luck there. Because I didn't really move to the side when I dropped. And now we have to deal with more doors containing more of these karate kids. There were some in round 4-3, I believe, but those just contained the little knife guys. I can't believe I forgot to even mention those. And here we have to use our jump attack on the cans that are being dropped down the pit. And you do have to time your movements carefully, so that way you can get cans to show up where you need them to, and hopefully make a bit of a improvised step ladder to get all the way up here. After this, you got a couple springs and a couple platforms, and then you have to deal with some karate kids again. Let's take care of these guys. Hopefully try not to get destroyed as we do so. And then we'll end up in another large room. You go to the right, you actually get nothing. You may find a 1-up in that dead end. If you do find it, it's worth 100 coins, and it just gives you an extra life. Only one I know of in the game, except for maybe one in round 4-3. Anyway, once you leave that dead end, you want to go to the left, and you're going to have to deal with these platforms that constantly disappear and reappear. You want to make a running jump to make your way to the top. Sadly, there's no other way to do it with a regular jump. And then you want to take a spring to get up here. If you get hit by a spike, take advantage of your invulnerability, and just make your way up to the goal. Once you make your way up to this building, it's pretty smooth sailing from here. And we found out why Mr. Strickland, the principal, took that almanac away from Biff 10. It was really a girly mag in there. It was a ooh la la inside the almanac jacket. So apparently Biff 10 has the thing hidden, and we're gonna have to look for Biff if you want to get that almanac back. So Marty McFly gets Doc Brown in the action, tells him what's going on, and turns out we have to go back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance in order to find Biff and hopefully get that almanac away from him. Unlike the first two parts of round 5, there's an extra life. I forgot all about that one, even though I ran into it during the Let's Play. That was another extra life that I hit. At least if you die, you can always get an extra life, provided you have enough coins. But anyway, this is a pretty easy mission. This is a pretty easy stage. All you have to do is just run to the right and try not to get killed. I also managed to activate a platform near the extra life that also let me get a couple of coins, which is really awesome. And here we have some hidden areas in the floor which lead to springs, and when we're not careful, we may just lead right into the spikes. So we have to do our best not to get destroyed over there, but once we manage to get past that part, it's pretty easy. Now from here you can either go down or go right. Either path will have its own set of challenges. You will definitely have to deal with spikes as well as other enemies, such as these guys that are walking back and forth eating hot dogs. I'm assuming they're hot dogs. But either way, you'll eventually make your way to the same point regardless of which path you take. And after taking care of some hot dog eaters, we should be pretty close at the end now, I believe. And when you see those crates, you know you've made it to the goal. Now we see George McFly, his younger self, beat up Biff Tannen, just like in the first film. This time around, however, when George McFly socks Biff, he knocks the almanac away from him, and we get the almanac away from Biff. But we still have to get out of that dance, and in round 5-4, we take on a boss battle that I completely forgot about before I decided to do this Let's Play again. Biff Tannen's buddies from 1955. I forget their names. I know the guy at the top that I'm beating up right now is 3D, but I forgot the names of the other two guys. There's supposed to be 3D glasses, but they just look like sunglasses here. Kind of weird. Anyway, you have 3 different guys to beat up. The guy at the very top, which is of course 3D, he just jets back and forth at the top of the screen, and you have to jump on him to hit him a couple times, and then he'll eventually go down. And then you have this guy in the middle. This guy moves slowly back and forth on this platform here, and sometimes he will kind of stall and shoot one of his little party favor there, but he is able to beat down. The third guy at the bottom is the worst part of the whole battle because of these platforms. You have to get down there and you have to hit them, and you hopefully have to do it without taking a bunch of dumb damage. Problem is, as you're gonna see, I die a couple times, and it's a lot harder than you would want it to be. You don't want to be too close to where he's standing, because if you do, he will keep doing that bottle cork shooting animation thing repeatedly until you get away from him. And if he sees you, he will charge towards you as well. Again, those aren't the problems that I have with them. It's just these platforms getting in the way, and I have to kind of watch my movements so that I don't do anything dumb. Of course, this is easier said than done, and I end up losing this guy, and I keep dying to him a couple of times. And I don't even know how I bounced off that guy. Well, I didn't at first, but then I realized that when he's charging, you can't leap on top of him. He has to be moving slowly, or else he won't be able to do any damage. It's something I didn't even notice the first time I played through this, and didn't even figure out until just now. And I sadly died, which means I have to beat up all 3 of these guys again. As you can see, this is definitely going to take a while, and of course I took another dumb hit. How about that? Well, at least he's out of the way. Another thing I recommend is taking care of the middle guy first. Well, he's the slowest moving, and while it may look like he may be able to hit me, as long as I get aggressive and just keep getting near him, he shouldn't be able to. Even that little 3-way party favor shot that he does won't be able to hit me. And because he went past the top of the screen, his dead body ends up here. As you can see, I accidentally triggered a glitch there. One of many that I've done on the channel, as you can see. There are other glitches in the game. Like, sometimes we go way too fast. Sometimes parts of the level won't show up, like where there would be a floor, there'll just be a pit. And if you left in that pit, you'd be falling forever until you either turn the game off or you reset. And I once tried to get footage of that, but unfortunately I forgot to press the record button, and therefore that moment is lost to time, sadly. I once pulled it off in round 3, and I did it again in round 5. It's pretty hard to do, but I know if you use a jump attack on the bombs in round 3 too, it is very possible to cause the floor to disappear. And then it's also pretty possible to go fast in like the sewer part in round 5 too, and cause some floor to disappear as well before you get there. However, if you move away from the area where the floor disappeared and you go back to it at normal speed, the floor will generate again. It'll be like nothing happened. Still thought I'd actually mention that glitch because I have a history of pulling off glitches when I don't mean to. Anyway, back to this guy. I'm still trying to beat this guy up, and I believe I've lost about 2 lives. I may lose 3. And I'm trying really, really hard not to take damage, and unfortunately I take damage yet again. So guess what? I'm gonna have to do this a 3rd time. I would cut this stuff out, but then I just realized I was talking about the one glitch other than what I saw earlier happened in the game. And I forgot that guy can throw projectiles too, but those projectiles are easy to deal with anyway. And I managed to find a slightly easier way to take care of this guy. Just use the platform in the middle and he should go down very easily. And by taking this guy down, I now have 3 hits to work with for the next 2 guys. And judging by how easy this guy is, it shouldn't take me long. So I should be able to try to tank a hit and then try to get as many hits as I can while I'm invulnerable. And sadly, that glitch did not happen this time. As I was saying, I should be able to probably take a hit and try to hit him as many times as I can while I'm invincible. So that should be good. This should work now. And I suddenly made it work. So we finally got the 5 or 6 hits needed to get on this guy. And we are finally done with round 5. After we beat Biff Tannen's little buddies, we meet up with Biff, who shoulder tackles us and takes the almanac back. Now we're gonna have to get the almanac away from him in round 6. In round 6, we're gonna be chasing after Biff, which means we're near the end of the movie and the end of the game, which I'm going to tackle in the next video. So join me next time where I take on round 6 and get that almanac back and set everything straight. So until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!